Welcome back to my channel. Hope you guys are all doing well. It is a very strange day for me today. I mean, I haven't been this cold in a very long time. And winter storm warnings everywhere. This is supposed to be like some generational winter storm right now, snowstorm across the US and Canada. Yet I don't know. I feel like it's actually not that bad. Like my pants right now that I am wearing, it looks thin on the outside, but there's so much fur inside. It's like smooth on the outside and there's a lot of fur. Like I'm prepped for the winter. And I wore like this winter jacket it's not even like that thick. I feel like it should have had more like goose down or whatever. So in negative 10 degrees weather, which is right now in Ontario, I just wore like a regular winter jacket that you should probably wear when it's like just 0 degrees. And I have my like thick-ish leggings on. I wore just regular winter boots and I was fine. But honestly, you will I've never felt my hands. Like I was actually pretty scared that I was gonna get I don't know what to call it, like when your fingers freeze off or turn purple. It didn't turn purple, but like I was being an idiot and then making like TikTok dances and videos outside in the storm. And one of my hands, no, I had both of my hands. No, I had both my hands out without gloves on. And I swear it was literally like 5 minutes. And then I don't know if I was just like so scared because it was so cold. I swear I looked at my hands and it looked like it was like, I don't know, the shape got weird. I was just like tripping out and I'm like, oh my God, my fingers are gonna fall off because it was more of my right hand. I don't know why. My left hand was fine. My right hand, like within 5 minutes of negative 10 degrees, like everywhere else was totally fine. My face was fine, even though it was also out in the open, like I had a hood on. My hand, just like I couldn't feel anything in these two fingers anymore. Like I couldn't feel anything. And I was like touching it to see like it wouldn't fall off. And then I just got so scared. I felt like the blood might have just like completely drained from it or froze from it or something. It didn't change colors, but I was just like, honestly, I've never been that scared for like any part of my body my whole life. And that was bad. So don't go outside without gloves in negative 10 degrees weather. If you're in Canada or somewhere in the US right now, like Alan in Ohio, I'm glad you're safe and staying warm. That was scary. That was scary. That was entirely my own fault because I decided to go and make TikTok dance videos. No regrets. It was really fun. I like dancing. And there's this like trending like Ariana Grande remix of a song that I've already made videos to, but I was like, let's do it in the snowstorm. And then I can throw some snow up in the air. It's on this channel if you didn't check it out under my dance playlist. I thoroughly enjoy doing it. At first I was kind of embarrassed. I'm like, oh my God, people can see me doing like there were people that could see me like just because I was out in public that could see me making this video, but I just pretended like they didn't exist, so it's less embarrassing. And at first it was really embarrassing and I think I wasn't really doing all the moves, and then I was just like, okay, forget it, just forget that people exist. And then I just made the video multiple times. I probably did like 20 takes. I have so many drafts. Like I actually published like 2 of them, but there's really like 20. So maybe I'll publish again like next year or something. It's a very Christmassy thing. But anyways, so literally I could have just stayed in today like a normal person should, because there's not many people out there on the street, obviously, in this crazy weather. I decided to, okay, let me see if I can speed this up because I gotta go. I decided to go outside, make videos, and then after I think I was just so cold from making all the videos, even though like dancing around heats up your body, I was just like kind of cold, and I'm like, you know what? I want to go buy some wine because I have a couple events coming. I just would like to bring alcohol to places, you know, it's like party favors. So I was like, I need to buy more wine either for myself drink around the holidays, or celebratory when going out. So I was like, I want to go buy alcohol. So I went out to buy some wine. I'm no wine expert, so when I go out to buy wine, I'm always just like, I just check where it's from, and I'm like, look at the price. I like the name and like the drawing, the label, and then that's it. That's how I pick my wine, guys. But I do like a Cabernet Sauvignon. I don't think I could actually tell if you put like a Shiraz with like Cabernet Sauvignon or Pinot Noir next to me and let me try it. But I usually feel like I like Cabernet Sauvignon, so I usually go for Cabernet Sauvignon. Oh man, CD, that's worse than us. Wait, CD, hi there, Merry Christmas. For the longest time, I thought you lived in California. I am. Well, I'm permanently, that's my, I don't talk about personal information, but I think I talked about it enough times that yeah, I'm in LA. But I'm just out I'm just traveling right now. I'm on vacation. So I'm vacation and I happen to be during this winter storm, I guess that's might have started yesterday. Except yesterday in Canada, it was raining. So I guess it turned from rain into snow today on December 23rd. And we're gonna get a crazy white Christmas. But yeah, I'm here traveling, leaving soon. I've had it before, no fun. Frostbite, yes, I think that's frostbite, right? Or when it turns completely purple, like in the movies, and it falls off. I don't think I got frostbite. My fingers are working fine, but I was thoroughly scared. I think like literally, you know, when I guess when it's cold, like they say, like, well, for rings, when I go buy rings, they're always like, oh, when it's cold, like your fingers will shrink. Yeah, it really does shrink because I was looking at my hands today and I'm like, oh my God, it looked like it was super skinny after I was out there for a while. It's called frostbite. It was -40 here with the wind chill, 25 plus miles per hour winds. Oh my God, Minneapolis, Minnesota. Oh, no wonder I kept seeing like all these posts like on social media from like Minnesota. That must be like, it must be really bad out there then. Got a question. As a kid, what TV shows did you watch? And also what activities did you like to do? Six Lens. I was a very weird child. I was a very weird child. What did I do? I like to make boxes, and I still do. I had a pet chick that I bought at a school yard. I had a pet tadpole. I had a pet. Did I have a cat? No, did I have a caterpillar? I played with caterpillars and like I think what is it, the silk stuff that they made. I also had a pet bean, like the food, like a soybean. I don't know what was wrong with me. I had a pet soybean. Like I had this relationship with it. I don't know. I think I kept it in some water and like this little jar. These are just like very faint memories of my childhood, but I know I did these things because they're really weird. I also had a pet rock, but the pet soybean I loved more. I don't know how it didn't get bad or when I threw it out, but I had a pet soybean. Like I didn't draw a face on it or anything. It was just like, I don't know. My parents bought me toys. I also had like the babies, like the fake little babies that cried. I had those toys too. I had a digital dog. So I had a dog that would like move up and down. I had like this dog that would bark. I would call Blue because it was blue. Oh, and I drew a lot. I drew a lot. I played like what's it called? Like the Dance Dance Revolution stuff. I had a mat at home that my parents got me. And yeah, those were my activities as a child. I went to Vegas a lot. I went to Vegas probably more times than I was ever at Disneyland or Disney World, even though that was also a part of my childhood. So that's all I can say for now. That's all I can really remember. And TV shows, I watched like literally everything out there. And I did read more books, I feel like, as a kid than I do as an adult, which is kind of sad. I remember reading a lot of like Disney-ish stuff. Hey, Lucy. Hi there. Chiltonchility, welcome. Goals. Goal says, Lucy, a wine journal is nice to add to the experience. Everyone buying Doge, of course, will. I had a pet bean too. Oh my God, no! Stop it. I've never met anybody who had a pet bean. Pet rock, yes, but not a pet bean. That is so cool. Oh my God. Okay. All right. So I'm going to talk about the last thing, which I already made a short video of like later, but I just thought this was really cool. I mean, cool, but also weird. Morning Brew posted, fighting with someone at home can make you more productive at work, according to a new study. Just like WTF. It says, big day at work, pick a fight on your way out the door. The Journal of Applied Psychology recently published a new finding showing that employees who had an uncivil pre-work interaction dealt with it by offering more assistance to their colleagues. Like, what in the world? I see random posts all the time, but this is just like really one of those weird ones. But I will say this. I have seen couples who've like, you know, had a dog at home or multiple dogs, and they like usually fight with each other. And then once they buy a dog and they start yelling at the dogs and be like, shut up, quiet down, like just like, you know, just like start yelling at the dogs instead of each other. I've definitely seen like a growth in the relationship. So that I feel like fighting maybe like with somebody else, like I think maybe a lot of us have like pent up anger, and like maybe instead of like expressing that anger to each other, you can express it to like an inanimate object, a robot dog, or unfortunately real dogs, but I feel like they get less offended than like real people. Yeah. So I've definitely seen that in the works. I don't understand how they did this study, or maybe if it is true, I don't know, but I just find it interesting. Definitely let me know what you guys think. If you've had like, you know, some fights at home, maybe just like simple fights, obviously nothing physical, like just verbal fights, or silly little talks, like being like, why didn't you put the toilet seat down? Or like, why didn't you pick up your socks? Those little things, maybe little fights. The only thing I can imagine right now, like just thinking from that like psychologist point of view, maybe when you fight with someone at home and you feel like, you know, you're in the wrong or you shouldn't have done that, maybe you feel so guilty that then you go to work and then you try to be like the hero, or you try to help out because you feel guilty that you shouldn't have been so mean at home. I don't know. That's the only thing I could come up with. But yeah, I would say don't fight with people, period. Like be vocal with people, and you should be smart with what you say. Don't say things that, you know, would like hurt the relationship forever and hurt people's feelings. But definitely like say things with all honesty in hopes that it would fix things or make people better, I think. Self-expression is very important in communication. But for people with like a lot of pent up anger, like I just yell at my Alexa. That's where most of my anger goes. I'm like, tell me what this means. What's the weather today? But like very mean. That's what I do. That's where all my pent up anger goes. So it goes less to customer service. Chill gentility. I had a pet spider on my barn. Alan says I'd feed it like once a week. What do you feed a spider? Because I thought spiders just eat like they get their own prey, like little ants and bugs, and they put it into their web. Like, how do you feed a spider? I don't get it. But that is cool. I'm I'm kind of like, I'm not scared of spiders because if I see a spider, I usually don't kill it. If it was poisonous, if someone told me it was poisonous, then I'd probably figure out a way to kill it. I heard if it has like a red dot on it and it's black, then I should kill it because those are poisonous. But I've never really tried to purposely kill spiders. Hate spiders. I'd give grasshoppers. Where do you get the grasshoppers? Yeah, I try to take care of them both, and they being dried up. So I made a little funeral with it. And then left the plastic ones in a tree from launching them with a catapult. Wow. You know, I never had a funeral for any of my any inanimate objects or soybeans that I've had as a pet. I don't know what I did with it in the end. I might have even had a pet crayon, to be honest. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what was going on in my head. Oh, I also played with glue. Like I would glue. I specifically remember this because I was like, oh my God, my teacher thinks I'm so weird. I would put glue, like, you know, in arts and craft class, the sticky kind and the dry kind, like all over my hands. And I would just stick it together and then I would pull apart because then you get those little stringy parts in between. I don't know, guys. I don't know what to tell you. I like to entertain myself. Last but not least, I should want to share with this. You guys. I already made a short video, but here is like just my random life, okay? I go out, like I said, I do a bunch of TikTok dance videos for no absolute reason at all, probably for my own self-entertainment. I go out, I buy wine, I finish buying wine, I walk out of the like alcohol store, and this random guy just like approaches me. And he's like, just like walks up towards me, and I'm like, with my alcohol, and he's like, "Are you Korean?" And I'm like, "No." But I'm not gonna tell you guys if I am or not because I don't share personal information. But I was like, "No," and I'm like fully expecting him to be like. And by the way, he's not Korean. It's well, I mean, I am being presumptuous, but it was a white guy. I'm like no, and then I'm thinking like he's trying to sell me something, and he then pulled out like this wallet from his like I don't know his jacket, and then he hands it to me, and he's like, "I found this on the street," and he's like, I don't know what to do with it. He's like, I don't want to give it to security because I feel like the security won't, like the security, I guess, in the mall wouldn't just go and travel to find this person to give it back. And he's like, during the holidays, I don't want this person to be missing all this stuff. So he's like, can I give it to you? And then I was like, I took it because I'm like, oh my God, if there's no address, like how am I going to find this person? So we looked at it together and this person has an ID where it has an address. So I was like, okay, I think I can actually find it. So I'm like, sure, I'll take it. I'll give it to them like today. So I take it and I'm thinking like this is gonna be really easy. So first I tell like my SO. I'm like, okay, so this is happening. Like someone gave me this random wallet, and then now I'm gonna try and return it to this stranger. And I'm like, so I don't want to die, basically. Like I'm a very imaginative person. So I'm just saying, like, in case it is somebody out there that's bad, and I show up to the house, it's a house, and I get like murdered. That's like the first thing that crosses my mind. I'm like, ooh, is that really worth it? So I told my SO, like, this is the address I'm going to. I texted it all. I have proof. And then I'm like, if I go there, and I get murdered, like, there you go. That's where I was. So, but then my ass was like, no, don't go, don't do it, because like this could be a scam. This could be like they're luring you near the house for anybody who's nice enough to like actually help out. Maybe when you're like walking around that area trying to return the thing, then you get kidnapped, you get taken away. I'm like, oh my God, I'm not even a child. Like, who would want to I'm in a lot of trouble to kidnap. But so I was like, okay, I don't think this is a scam. But then I really thought about it. And then he started to scare me basically because he's like, oh, it's a scam. Like, you should give this to the police. And I was like, but that's the whole point. I promised the guy that I would return it myself because we didn't want to give it to the security or somebody because we don't think that they're going to be able to find that person or like spend the time. It's a storm out there to do it all today. So then I was like, no. And so even though he scared me, and I told my other friend too, and my friend's like, oh my God, Lucy, don't do it. Like, just mail it off. But then I'm like, okay, if I lost all my stuff, and it was like, it's a lot of stuff. There is like IDs. And the reason why I guess the guy asked me if I was Korean because he looked through it and there's like Korean like IDs. So it's like IDs from another country. It had like a bus pass, so money on it if you have a bus pass, and it had like a Costco card. It was just like so much stuff that I would be so pissed off and sad if I lost it. And I wouldn't want to wait a couple days in a winter storm to like get it. So I was just trying to think like, okay, if this is me, like I want it today. And then I'm like, as I just told my SO, I'm like, okay, you know what, like whatever. If you're freaking out that I'm gonna get kidnapped, this is how I'm gonna do it. I've already sent the where I'm going to you, and then to like a family member, and then to a friend. So I'm like, people know where I'm going. And I'm gonna go, and then I'm gonna call you. I told my husband I'm gonna call him as I am going to this house. So in case I get like murdered or shot, then like this is recorded. Somebody knows. So hilarious. And I'm like walking in the storm. I got so scared because I'm like, oh my God, there's no one around. I'm like, oh my God, what he's saying could totally be true. Like a kidnap van could literally pull up next to me because if someone really was trying to do this. But then I'm just like, the reason why I did it, I was like, okay, they had to give this to me, and it was like a YSL, like a branded little wallet. So I'm like, if someone really tried to trick people, like they would have to know, like face read me to see if I'm nice enough to actually give it back, because I could have just easily just taken it and just stole the whole thing, threw out everything, checked the bus pass. So I was like, okay, who would be dumb enough to hand off something just to try me with all these IDs that look absolutely real? So I was like, no. I trust my gut feeling that this is a real thing, and like this person actually lost it. This is not a scam to kill me or murder me. But obviously I had to be safe, and I was just calling my SO right before I got up to the house. But when I was walking and there's no one around, I literally got scared by everything. Like I looked around and I was like, oh my God, there are cars around me that could like, I'm like, what's the distance? What if they pop out? They pop out and they take me away, and then I die, and I'm like, oh my god, is this even worth it to like try to be nice? And by the way, I feel like it may seem like I'm nice for doing this, but I'm actually not that nice. I feel like I've just done a lot of bad things in my life as well, and things I regret, that doing this is just like me trying to replenish some of the bad karma I've made for myself throughout the years. So really it wasn't a nice thing. It was just me trying to make redemption moments for other bad things I've said to people or done. But anyways, luckily, I walked to the place, I walked to the house, and it looked like there was no lights in there. So I just like I was so scared. I had my SO on the phone. I clicked the doorbell, like ring the doorbell like 8 times, and then I jumped back like down the stairs because I'm like, oh my god, if they open the door and they stab me and they shoot me or whatever. Keep in mind, I know this is Canada, but I ring the bell, I jump down. There's no one around. It's super dark and it's snowing everywhere. And then this old man opens up the door and then he's like, hello. I think he was more scared of me than I was of him. And he's like, hello. And then I'm like, so I know it's a young girl because I looked at the ID. I know she's like 20 something. I was like, is blah, 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 the person's name on the ID. I'm like, are they here? And then he's like, oh, no, that's my tenant. That's like down in the basement because they have basements here. And then I'm like, oh, okay, I'm not going to the basement. He's like, oh, you can go that way, pointing towards like the back and asking me to go to like the basement. And I'm like, no, 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 I'm not going into any basements. That's how you get murdered. So I was like, okay, yeah, I found a wallet. It's this person's. And then since he said it's his tenant, I'm like, here you go, just take it. So well, I think I just felt like he wasn't gonna attack me. Like I got a good vibe, and I just like gave him the wallet, and I'm like, okay, like there you go. Somebody picked it up on the street and gave it to me, so I'm just giving it to you. I think that when he said he knew the name, that he actually knew the name. And yeah, so end of story. I was able to give it back to the person. Obviously, the person doesn't know who I am and will never meet. Which honestly, I wasn't hoping for a reward. I know sometimes people are nice and they'll like be like, oh my God, like, you gave me back something. Like here's $100 or whatever. I wasn't expecting anything, but honestly, if you're ever watching my video and know that it's me that returned it, at least subscribe to my channel. That's all I would ask for. Just be like, subscribe, check out my links down below, man. But yeah, so that was like the nicest thing I've ever done for some stranger on Christmas. So I guess you can call me Santa Lucy. Six Lens, no good deed goes unpunished. Six Lens says, next week on Lucy Show, Lucy gets taser, knuckles, and body armor and takes a trip to local ghetto. Okay, by the way, I would only do this because I know that like I'm not going to the ghetto. Okay. I'm like, this is like Canada. So I'm like, what is the worst thing that can happen? But I will say that sometimes when you scare yourself, like I was like next level scared, even like walking my way back afterwards. Like I was like, oh my God. Like every time I was just outside in the dark, I was thinking like somebody was gonna come out and attack me because there's just like not a lot of people out there during a storm. Lucy, you went to the hood. Did he look homeless? Oh, the guy who gave me the wallet? No, he didn't. He looked like a normal, like just average dude. 50s, 60s. But my SO did ask me, and he was like, oh, why didn't the guy just give it back to her? And then I was like, I don't know, because it's a winter storm and people like probably don't want to have to go to some house where you have to like walk. And then my other thought that did cross was he could have, because there was no cash in the wallet. Okay. It's not even a wallet. It's like one of those like thin ones where you usually stick your ID in. Maybe there isn't supposed to be cash, but I know a lot of people who do stick cash in there. My other thought did come to my mind where I was like, maybe either the guy who gave it to me or someone else took out all the cash and then threw the rest on the ground. And then he found it, or he could have taken all the cash and then he maybe felt bad and wanted to give it back. So I don't know. It could have been anything, but at least now she doesn't have to go and like replace all these annoying IDs during the holidays. Anyways, guys, I gotta go, but thank you so much for being here, listening, and supporting the channel. Alan says, well, I walked around at 11 a.m. in the morning, chill. They probably thought I was homeless at the liquor store. Yeah, sometimes I feel like maybe people need to realize that we ourselves, like I am more scary than a lot of things that I'm scared of. So I just over scare myself sometimes, but it was good. I definitely don't regret the experience because it was kind of like an adventure, but I am so cold now. Like it didn't feel that cold when I was walking. But like after I got back, I was literally like I could feel the coldness like tingle in my body for like the next 30 minutes. Actually, right now I still kind of feel like cold, even though there's the heat on and I'm wearing a lot of clothes. So stay warm, guys. Stay warm and always be careful. I feel like what I did was it was still smart, protected myself, but um yeah, I guess but the way I thought of it was like if bad things are gonna happen, it's gonna happen anyways. So you can only be so safe. But I was safe by sending off the address that I was headed over to. Anyways, guys, take care. And I will see you soon. If I don't see you soon, then Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, Happy Hanukkah, and well, I'll definitely see you before the new year. Bye.